forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Check this out, if you out here, Wilson asks everybody to come in the field, we're finna take a big picture.
Call me Rambo when that's on. And my mistakes don't mean it, it's the way God made me. Pistol whip that nigga for 40 minutes straight. With my shit.
So everybody who wanna get the picture come over here in the field.
They must forgot I'm the reason the whole hood ain't think I'm crazy and get better.
Hey, cameraman, where the cameraman at? Hey, on the count of 3, we gonna say happy birthday, Bleek, and the cameraman's gonna start flashing.
You know, but at the time, nah, I don't want to speak on it. I'm gonna let that go.
Well, Lil Fat got killed in 2014. When you first heard the news, how badly did it fuck you up?
I was fucked up about it, but me and Fat wasn't seeing eye to eye when he died. Yeah, I still, you know, I raised Fat, bro. Fat was my little nigga, bro. Fat was my little nigga. I raised Fat, dog. I had raised Fat, dog, but you know, it wouldn't Fat. Fat ain't do nothing to make the situation how it was. His brother had did something to make the situation how it was. It wouldn't, Fat ain't do nothing. It's just how shit go.
District Attorney Hiller Moore says it's quite possible Lil Boosie is connected to a string of murders. Police recently arrested 9 men for the deaths of 6 others. Police say Boosie is part of this web. One other name stands out. 17-year-old Michael Loudon is the only one charged with each murder.
Way back, years ago, on June 17th, 2010, when Little Boosie was indicted alongside a teenager he claimed to have raised, Marlo Mike Loudon, who initially would implicate him in the murder of his baby mother's brother, Terry Boyd. The high-profile star that Boosie was at the time, he would become the central focus of the case. But his co-defendant, Marlo Mike, was also connected to 5 additional murders, as well as several attempts, while Boosie was only charged in connection with Boyd's death. But another one of those murders would immediately spark rumors surrounding Boosie's name, and the indictment surrounding this case will have far-reaching consequences, not only on Boosie's relationship with his co-D, Marlo Mike, but also for his ties with a former collaborator and the label that would first introduce him to the world, Trill Entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay. And
he got me indicted, but when it's time for court,
what do you mean he got you indicted? Explain.
He got me indicted. He said
you did it.
Yeah.
And then he changed his mind?
Yeah, when it was time for trial, he got on the stand and told the truth.
When he told on you initially, what did you think? This was your close friend?
Yeah, this was my son. I was his guardian on at his fucking at school.
Wow.
I signed for him.
How old was he at the time of the trial?
At the time of the trial, he was like about 17, 18.
He was still a minor during that trial?
Yeah, because years hadn't went by. When he got arrested, he was 15.
Oh, so he was just a young shooter. 9 people, he admitted to that?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why he in jail. They never had not one witness on him, on none of those murders.
Because he killed everyone at the scene, pretty much?
No, he just never had a witness. Nobody was like, they never had a witness on now one of his murders. Not one of them, not one witness.
Okay, so you're going through this, was it a double murder that you were on this trial for?
No, this is a single murder.
Okay, you were on trial for a single murder.
Yeah.
And he was your co-defendant.
Yeah.
For that same single murder.
Yeah.
But he had 8 other murders.
Yeah.
Thrown in.
Yeah, and 3 attempts
for different cases.
Yeah.
And he took the stand and said, Boosie didn't do anything.
Yeah, we wrap.
If he had taken the stand and said, Boosie did everything I did, then you would be in prison right now.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. I don't think the jury would have took him. It was just all everywhere, you know. It wasn't a strong case at all. You know, he just did what he did because he had gotten a situation on another body with our best friend, and he was just trying to get me off the streets, so I would never come back because he knew if I would have came back after what happened with my best friend. Yeah, that shit real talk. Yeah. So I laid out on side his Benz with all our friends dead too. Trash, everybody dead. Yeah. Turned on the TV today. They say my main dead from gunshot, shot up in his cast. Yeah. Turned on the TV and my boy Bleek was shot up in his brand new caddy, man. Only Ivy birthday, huh, bro? That'll hurt you, huh? I was calling home to tell my girl Nita to go by the Ivy mom. It was his birthday to take us some money. She said she was on the murder scene. My best friend just got killed. Crazy, huh?
In May of 2014, Boosie would tell XXL in an interview, I started having nightmares about never getting out of prison. Nightmares about when they killed Bleek. And after he would miraculously beat his death penalty murder case for the death of Terry Boyd, and he would have a chance to fully intake the aftermath of everything that happened while he was locked up, I'm almost 100% sure that those nightmares triggered anger and probably even a little bit of regret, and I'll explain why in a second. But angry first because, according to him, Marlo Mike was the sole reason that he was indicted in the first place. And then 2, because while he was locked up, he would lose a person that some people online describe as his best friend, Darryl Bleek Milton, and mostly due to his close association with Marlo Mike Loudon, people will begin to implicate him even online that he might have played a part in his best friend's death. And thinking about it, I'm not even sure what would make you more tight at a nigga, them implicating you in a murder and then getting you indicted, or them killing your best friend. But when it's both, that's crazy. And it would be that death that would completely change the relationship that Boosie had with 2 people that he would claim to have raised, Marlo Mike Loudon and former label mate, Lil Phat. Now, most of us might have seen the full interview with Boosie where he explained him not seeing eye to eye with Lil Phat at the time of his murder, affecting really how he felt about it. And I'm sure some might have looked at that as cold, as Boosie and Phat once collaborated on one of the biggest songs in both Boosie and Phat's career, Indictment, released in 2008 by Webby. But when you try to fully understand the full gist of the situation, it kinda explains more why he would take that position And for that, you gotta look past the murder that Little Boosie would beat. And the only one of the 6 that Marlo Mike was convicted of. And to understand even further, you have to pay attention to the timeline. So on February 9th, 2009, Chris Jackson, a person we all know as Nussy, would be killed inside a home on America Street. Several months later, on April 25th, 2009, you have the death of a guy by the name of Marcus Gangster Thomas, who was killed while driving his SUV on West McKinley Street. Then you would have the infamous murder of Terry Boyd that would occur on October 21st, 2009. As we all know, that would be the murder that Little Boosie would end up being indicted for, alongside Michael Marlo Mike Loudon. And here is where you're going to pay extra attention, because things get a little tricky, because less than a month from that, in November of 2009, Little Boosie would be arrested for possession of marijuana charges that would eventually lead to his probation being revoked, forcing jail time on the rapper. And 2 months after Boosie would be locked up, and for the 4th time in 11 months, Marlo Mike would be implicated in another murder on December 18th of 2009, with the victim being a guy by the name of Michael Smith, who was found shot to death behind a home on Wisteria Street. Then last but not least, you have the double murder of Charles Nuki Matthews and Darryl Bleek Milton on April 1st, 2010. Now, both men would be shot to death while sitting in a parked Cadillac on Monte Sano Avenue. A little more than a month after that double homicide, Marlo Mike Loudon would be arrested on May 14th, 2010, where he would allegedly implicate Little Boosie in the murder of Terry Boyd, leading to Boosie's indictment about a month later, while already serving time in June of 2010. And we all know how that story kind of played out. But due to Boosie's alleged close relationship with Marlo Mike, he would be released to rumors online connecting him to the death of his best friend, Darryl Bleek Milton. And in the specific interview clip that we watched earlier, he would even explain that that would be the reason that he would think that Marlo Mike would implicate him in the murder of Terry Boyd, believing that Marlo Mike probably didn't want him back on the streets after what Marlo had allegedly did to Bleek. And when I spoke earlier about the regret that Boosie might have, of course he's going to have it dealing with, while I was locked up, while my best friend died, if I was there, that might not have happened. But I think about it even deeper and almost have to look directly to his relationship with Marlo Mike. And the best way that I can explain it from what I've seen, it's like a person's relationship with a dog. You have a dog that you train and you make vicious, almost to protect you. But when it bites your son or daughter, you kind of think like, wow. Because based on the research that I've done on Marlo Mike and from his indictment, that's exactly what happened. After Boosie was picked up on those possession charges in November of 2009, authorities believe that Michael Marlo Mike Loudon would essentially become a hired gun, with the last hit he was hired for being the October 1st, 2010 double murder that would take the life of Darryl Bleek Milton. And just like Marlo Mike would allegedly implicate Little Boosie in the murder of Terry Boyd, he would implicate a man by the name of Reginald Youngblood in the murder of Charles Nuki Williams, the man killed alongside of Bleek, with them believing that Bleek was just collateral damage of the hit. Damn, little bro, you took the slide on my dog. That and being put in the blender and catching his own murder charge would explain Boosie's relationship with Marlo Mike. Now back to Lil Fat. According to authorities, though Marlo Mike would be connected to 6 murders, he wasn't the only one committing them. And though Marlo Mike wasn't charged for the murder of Bleek because New Orleans already had him on a life sentence. Somebody else was a guy by the name of Kendrick Ken Johnson, who happens to also be the brother of Little Fat. And in June of 2014, he would plead guilty to conspiracy to commit murder and receive a 20-year sentence for the death of Charles Nuki Matthews and Darryl Bleek Milton. So all while Boosie was fighting for his freedom for a weed charge, he would find out that he would be implicated in his own murder, his best friend was killed, and a person he raised and someone connected to his label mate and the owners of his label had committed the murder of his best friend. Now, y'all make sure y'all hit the red bell and subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real trill spill shit is dropping. Y'all definitely get in this comment box. Let me know what cities I need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what we missed, what we got wrong, all of that. Y'all tapping with me directly. Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And until the next play, you know how we rocking. Shades Popalot. Salute the almighty mob.